Hi, my name is Torsten Lange. I'm the founder and director of the Reiki Academy London, and I would like to try to explain to you the key feature of Reiki, the attunement. In fact, it's not just the key feature, it is the only indispensable element of the system of Reiki. Everything else is a result of the attunement. Everything else is almost like an elongation of the attunement. It starts, and from there we have Reiki in our lives, we have healing hands. Reiki doesn't work without this initiation, ritual, whatever you want to call it. Interestingly, there are different techniques. So once again, it means it's never about the technique in Reiki. It's about what we are actually connected to. And the attunement is what creates this connection. In order to understand what and how it works, we need to look at how Reiki started. And Reiki started with a moment of enlightenment. The founder of Reiki spent 3 weeks on a mountaintop in Japan, on Mount Kurama near Kyoto, fasting, meditating, reaching the brink of death. And one day, on the 21st day, he had this moment of suddenly feeling light. Nothing but light. And he said it was so blinding that he had to close his eyes and lie down, and he doesn't know how long he was lying down there, but he just felt love. He felt light. He felt connection to everything. He had this moment that in Japan is called Satori, a moment of sudden understanding, a breakthrough, just knowing, not having to understand, not having to explain, not having to try anymore, just knowing you are completely divine. You are completely one with everything, with the universe. There is nothing between us as human beings and everything. So he felt this, and as a result, he noticed that his hands started to have healing features. He just could place his hands on anything and everything, and it made a difference. It made a huge difference. In fact, he became quite famous in Japan simply by placing his hands on other people and allowing the energy to flow. So something had opened up to connect him to the universe, to some higher form of energy. And the attunement does exactly that. An attunement, in a nutshell, is nothing else but a moment of enlightenment. Interestingly, whether you know it or not, and I didn't have a clue. In fact, in my first attunement, I didn't feel anything. I was sitting there for 20 minutes or so until the Reiki teacher sounded a little bell and said, "Your attunement is now complete." And I thought, typical. It's just not for me. I didn't feel anything. Half an hour later, I was just casually sitting there, listening to what he said, and suddenly I thought, it's getting quite warm under my hands. And then I moved them somewhere else, and it was surreal. Something had happened. Something had opened up, and I started to feel a sensation in my hands. Wherever I placed them, it was getting warm underneath, and the connection to Reiki had been made. An attunement is a ritual with different techniques, and the key to that is the intention to share the Reiki connection between the teacher and the student. And really, an attunement is nothing else. The teacher connects to Reiki, feels the connection, places their hands on the student, and the student feels this connection as well. They feel the flow of energy, or they don't, as in my case, but it's still happening. And subconsciously, they realize it's not the teacher's energy, it's just there. So I can have the same, I can create the same connection. And every time after an attunement, a Reiki practitioner just thinks of Reiki, just sets the intention to connect to Reiki, it's there.